Okay, so in this question, I'm going to use the standing wave patterns to find things out, like the wavelength, the speed, all sorts of stuff. So you'll notice I have a 1.5 long rope, and it tells me the pattern is the fourth overtone. I have to know these patterns for this to be done. So the first thing I know is my first pattern would have been the fundamental frequency, then the first overtone, the second overtone, the third overtone, and the fourth overtone. Each loop or antinode is going to be one of the patterns, right? So I can just count it out. I know my fourth overtone, because it starts with the fundamental frequency, has 5 loops or antinodes. Now remember, each of those loops or antinodes is a half a wavelength long, which means if I look at this whole thing, that's a half, plus another makes 1, plus another makes 1.5, plus another makes 2, plus another makes 2.5 wavelengths long. So that means my pattern is 2.5 wavelengths long, and it fits in 5 meters, because it's basically saying this whole thing is also 5 meters, right? That's what the question is telling me. So that means finding the wavelength is super easy, because if there's 2.5 wavelengths in 5 meters, I just have to divide, which means the wavelength is 2 meters long. I just divide 5 by my 2.5. I basically set up my own equation using the pattern. I also have to think about the other name for this. 5 antinodes is also known as the fifth harmonic, right? Because it starts off first, second, third, fourth, and fifth harmonic. It helps if you spell it right, though, there, fifth harmonic. The last thing it wants me to do is it tells me the frequency is 12 hertz, and I need to know the speed of the wave. Well, I also know the speed of the wave equation, right? That the speed of the wave is equal to the frequency times the wavelength. So the speed of the wave in this case will be the frequency, the 12 hertz that it gave me in, times the wavelength in 2 meters. So that's pretty straightforward. Multiplication. The math in this isn't hard. It's thinking it through. It's understanding the patterns is the hard part of these questions. Remember, the equation will come out in speed, so meters because my wavelength's in meters, and per second because remember hertz is frequency, which is the waves per second. There you go. All done.